Some questions are starting to come in, and I try to do this in videos so that way I don't have to repeat myself, because if one or two or five people want to know, then everybody's thinking the same thing. So, how did this happen, and did I have symptoms? So, in February, I saw my normal cancer care team from when I had cancer in 2020, and everything was fine. But we were discussing that my 5 year anniversary is coming up, and that they were looking to turn my continued care over to a GP doctor, a general practitioner. And it just so happened to be that my GP that I had in 2020 is no longer available. I wish he still was, because I greatly appreciate everything that man ever did in my life, not only as a doctor but also as a friend. He knows who he is if he sees this. But anyway, so we were discussing that, and they recommended that I use a GP at the hospital because they would have immediate access to the cancer care team and basically all the resources that the cancer care team has access to. And it was going to be convenient. And since I didn't have a GP, it was a good choice. And I thought about it and went with that. So in April, I saw that new GP, and she asked me about, my previous cancer, and I had a long list of lingering issues, but I prioritized two of them. And what I prioritized was that I've been unable to gain weight for 5 years, and I eat like a pig. Currently between 5,000 and 6,500 calories per day. And that's just what it takes to maintain my current weight, which is only about 134 pounds. So anyone who knows anything about weight and diet knows 5,000 to 6,500 calories is a crazy amount of food for someone who weighs only 134 pounds to eat. But if I eat less than that, I start to lose weight. If I eat more than that, I still don't gain weight, because the way that I got to that weight was I started right after cancer and treatment in 2021 ended. 2 weeks later, I started working out, and I went to a bulking diet, which prior to cancer was 3,500 calories. And I did that for like 2 months, didn't hardly gain any weight. So I increased it 500 calories, did that for a couple months, and then so over time, over 5 years, I've increased it. And there's videos on that I can link to. Anyway, so I saw the GP, and right off the bat, she wanted to order. Oh, the second thing, my shoulder, I had shoulder pain, and the muscles on the right side of my shoulder looked like they had atrophy because they never developed past the stage they were at when chemo ended. Now you got to remember, during chemo the first time, I weighed 175 pounds. I got down to almost 119, I think it was. So I did put on some weight after chemo and radiation, but once I got to like 130, it just stopped. So because of the shoulder pain and the atrophy, she ordered x-rays, and she also ordered full and complete labs. So that was April 14th. Then, in May, based on the x-ray results, she wanted to do an MRI of my shoulder, but the insurance company denied it. Why? I have no idea. So then she ordered an MRI of my cervical spine. For whatever reason, they approved that one. And so that happened in June. And then in July, she suggested that I do a lung screening. I think she actually suggested that in April, and I was like, I just kind of thought it was a waste of money, because I'd never had no symptoms of any lung cancer. But anyways, in July, she told me, you still haven't done your lung screening. To get that done, the insurance company will pay for one once a year for an ex-smoker. Now, I am an ex-smoker, and I smoked for a long time, from the time I was 13, 14 years old all the way up until I was in my mid-30s. So once she said the insurance company would pay for it, I was okay with that because the insurance company I have is pretty high deductible. It's $7,000 out of pocket before they really pay, so it's pretty good chunk. So I went ahead and started the lung screening in July 22nd. And then also while doing this lung screening process, we're still working on the shoulder issue, so I saw a neurosurgeon to see the results of the MRI of my spine. And he basically said that really he didn't feel like there was some issues with my cervical spine, but he didn't think that contributed to the weight issues or the pain. Anyways, he wanted to go ahead and do another thing. He wanted to do an EMG on my shoulder, and I did that in August. That all come back good, so it's not like a nerve issue. It's not really they're related to the issues with my spine. But back to the CT, the lung screening. So because we did the telephone screening in July, and then August we did the CT of my lungs, and something showed up from the CT of my lungs. It looked like a mass. They wasn't sure. So they scheduled a PET scan in September. So I did the PET scan September 2nd. And then also September 9th, they did the EMG on my shoulder. Because of the PET scan results, which I got those on like the 8th of September, they scheduled a biopsy to be done. It's called an EBUS biopsy. And that was done on September 23rd. And then a few days after that, I got the results in my chart that showed the cancer in the lymph nodes and also a tumor. So now the next step is I spoke to the pulmonary. She's kind of like a CMP. And I talked to her on the 29th. And she said that it was inoperable and that she was going to recommend me to see an oncologist. And she said I could go ahead and cancel my next appointment because that was basically to discuss surgery options. And since they can't operate, there's no sense in doing that. And that basically brings you up to where we're at now. So in October 7th, I have I wanted to stick with my original cancer team because my line of thinking, they already know me. They already know all my stupid jokes. I'm running out of jokes to tell them. Plus, they got me through cancer the first time, so there's this like trust thing that I built with my original cancer team. But the other thing I want to make note of is my first cancer was neck and tonsils and also lymph nodes, and it had the P16 squamous cell carcinoma marker, which is related to HPV. And so I assumed that the new cancer was going to be related to it because it's very aggressive. Well, the new cancer has the P40 marker, squamous cell carcinoma, so it's not actually related to the original cancer. That's why I will have a new cancer team, because it's in a different location. It's got different DNA markers. So my cancer team doctor, I sent her a message asking to see her. She said she could see me, but she was going to defer me to someone more specialized with that cancer. And that's basically where we're at. So that's how it happened. That's kind of how it come up to this. I want to tell you that at no time ever did I have symptoms of having cancer. I had no pains. I had no breathing issues. I still work out. My job is like a very rigorous job where you're running or jogging pretty much 10 to 15 miles a shift, delivering Amazon packages. I had no issues. So if you were ever a smoker, what I'm going to suggest even if you feel fine, you need to get a lung screening, cancer screening. If you are a current smoker, I suggest that you stop smoking and get a cancer lung screening. If you have insurance, they'll pay for it, one screening a year. It's a simple process, because the thing about lung cancer is most people don't have symptoms until it's in an advanced stage. I never had symptoms. I'm stage 4, and I never had any symptoms. Every one of them stages, your chance of living decreases drastically. So if you can catch it early enough at stage 1 or stage 2, your survival rate's around 60%. But you get into stage 3 and stage 4, it drops off very quickly. So that's what I want to recommend. Thanks for watching. As always, God bless you. God bless your families. God bless your homesteads.